Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Today's topic is understanding your customer. That sounds super boring, but it is super necessary. Okay. When we are working on marketing our business, we really need to know who we're talking to. Okay. So what I will start with is why everybody, meaning like the whole world, isn't your customer. And the main reason is you need to know who you're talking to. You can't talk to everybody because everybody that you're trying to sell to has different problems. And you might have different lines of service or different products that solve different problems for your customers, but you need messaging for each one. That's probably the best way to think about this. So in my business, we have like about 4 different like customer personas that we serve, and they each need to be talked to differently because they all have different abilities to spend, they all have different pain points, and they all have different opportunities in their future. And all of those things need to be spoken to. You need to be able to talk about how you have a solution for their problem, and you need to be able to talk about how you can help them get to where they want to go. You can't do this without actually understanding your customer. And so with that said, I just want to be clear that everybody is not your customer, and there should be a consistent effort, a routine part of your marketing effort, your marketing department, that is dedicated towards understanding your customer more deeply. Okay? So what does that look like? It looks like empathizing and observing, empathizing with them and observing their behavior. It looks like gathering data, and it looks like engaging with them and gathering that data and testing it, right? So learning from some people and then running that by others to see what they have to think. Now, in doing all of this, you will inevitably gather lots of information that either doesn't seem helpful or doesn't seem like what you want to hear because it's inconvenient, but ultimately it's all valuable, okay? Because sometimes even if you hear what you don't want to hear, it lets you know that you either might be missing the mark or that there's opportunity, okay? Let's just talk for a minute about empathy and observation. Okay, so how do you do this, right? And it sounds kind of funny. How do you be empathetic? Well, you just ask deeper questions, right? That uncover your customers' motivations. You can do this with your existing customers, and you can do it with other people that resemble them, like other people that might not be your customer, but maybe you would consider being your customer. You have interest in them being your customer. Those are good people to ask questions of. Ask them, relevant to your business and what you do. In that domain of things, what their pain points are. For example, I might ask a customer in your marketing department what is the most annoying thing or the most frustrating roadblock that you deal with, and in my head, I'm expecting to hear something like, "Oh, we don't like to deal with the tech," or "We don't know what to say on social media," or "We don't know how to use social media. We don't know how to reconcile the value of our ads." But I might actually get back an answer that is, we don't know how much to even spend, which is hardly even a marketing question and is more of a financial business question. And so I might not be expecting the answer, and what I get back in terms of asking something about their marketing, they give me something back about their financials. And while that might not immediately seem valuable to me, I still need to hold on to that answer and let it sink in that maybe I can help people understand how marketing fits into their finances, right? And if I can help them do that, then I can enable them to be my customer. And so that's how sometimes when you get answers that you don't want or don't expect or seem inconvenient can actually be valuable. We want to pay attention to the emotional language that our customers use. We want to know if they're feeling frustration, if they're feeling just stuck, if they're feeling unconfident, things of that nature, because then you can get to the core of the problem. and the problem to your customer is almost always an emotional one, meaning there might be the surface level operational problem that you can see and work on and get your hands on, but ultimately when you solve a problem for your customer, you're solving like an internal emotional problem to them, right? Uncertainty, lack of confidence, like not having clarity, those types of things are all internal things to every human being. And so that's what we really want to sell to. But we want to know what those problems are, because those are the roots of the problems that grow and that we can solve. We want to map out their situation if possible. Like if we're having trouble just understanding their verbal explanation, sometimes it's good to just draw a picture and say, hey, I'm just going to draw out what you're saying so that I can understand it better. And then what inevitably happens is they look at the map that you're drawing out of their situation, and then they might correct you and say, oh, no, it's actually like this. In the process of you understanding, you then have like a shared document or a shared representation of things, and it actually helps give them clarity too. And so that's kind of a fun thing to do when you're interviewing people, when you're trying to get to the bottom of what their pain points are. Obviously, we can create surveys for feedback. That's not something that I do a lot of because I really appreciate the one-on-one aspect of working with my clients, and that's the core of my business is relationships anyway. But there's plenty of opportunities in other businesses to use surveys to gather feedback. And we also, speaking on the topic of gathering data, we want to be able to gather information in a way where we can analyze it and almost track patterns, if you will. That might be like, we've gotten a pattern of uncertainty, or we've gotten a pattern of lack of confidence, or we've gotten a pattern of a lack of knowledge, right? Right, because if we only look at the actual little things that we can work on, like the surface level stuff that we can operationally change, all that stuff kind of has to exist because that's like the mechanics of a business. But if we want to know what problems to solve, we have to get under that and get to the emotion of things and track those patterns and realize, how does my business really fit in? Am I the business that they come to for clarity, or the business they come to for confidence and guidance? Or is it the business they come to for doing something that they just don't want to do, right? So those are the types of things that you want to find. We want to be able to engage and test this information that we get back. So what I mean by engage it and test is put it into play, run it by other people, cross-reference it. Say things like, well, a lot of our customers deal with this problem. Is that something that you also have a problem with? Sometimes you might uncover some more reinforcing data that you wouldn't have otherwise found with the other person, because they only answered the question in their own way. But if given the opportunity to identify with a specific problem, they might. So that's just like one way to make sure you're not leaving information on the table when you do take the time and energy and money to do market research. Okay. And then one last thing you can do is compare your messaging to what your competitor's messaging is. Now, this is simply not for the purposes of making sure that you're on par with another company, because every company is different and you need to be you, right? But what it does reveal is maybe they're onto something and maybe they're not, but it's just another place where you can go find information of like, well, this messaging is being used for this line of service or this product. And so have we considered that? That's all it is for. You really don't, you want to compare, your business against your business every day moving forward so that you're making progress and not get caught up too much in the comparing your business to another business, because that's ultimately not useful. You don't even know if what they're doing is actually working that much, and that's a great reason why not to do that. So why do we need to understand our customer? Obviously, so with our existing customers, we want to build loyalty, right? We want them to know that we care about them, and we want them to know that we care about what they're going through and that we're looking out for them, right? With customers who aren't yet our customers, we want to let them know that we're a good fit for them and that we're not just trying to take our product and shove it down their throat, but that we're actually want to solve their problem. Like at the end of the day, we want to help them get from point A to point B and be happy about it, right? So basically that means if you have a habit and a culture of understanding your customer, it's going to increase your sales and your retention in your business. So for everybody who has customers, I highly recommend that you take the time to get with them. It doesn't have to take a lot of their time, but just whether it's casual as they're like walking out the door, or maybe you have a routine meeting, maybe pepper it in there, these opportunities to get feedback from them. It will really open your eyes and drive the innovation of your business. And I can honestly say, like, even though there are staple products and services that we offer, we are constantly evolving as a business because we have a habit of getting feedback from our customers. Sometimes, like during certain times of the year, maybe we're busy and we forget about it more and we don't do as much of it, but maybe even during slow season is a great time to invest this energy into your company, and it is a good way to like till the soil, if you will, and kind of reinvigorate the fertility of your business. And so what this is going to set us up for is our next topic, which is going to be about like positioning and offers. But you can't position yourself or craft offers for your customers if you don't yet understand them. So that's why I wanted to talk about this today. Happy that you took the time to give this a listen. We'll be posting these episodes on our website, and we'll be posting micro clips of these on social media, and looking forward to next time, guys.